11:01. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chair back there, so
Okay.
Trustee Foley.
there.
Here.
Treasurer Laura Ellery Summers.
Yes, I'm here.
Clerk Palovich here. Trustee Kroll.
Here.
Trustee Reiner.
I'm here.
Supervisor Kozibowski.
Here.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Voice vote, please.
Or-
I need a session. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Now's the time for public comment. Seeing nobody online. Anybody in the audience? Seeing none. So we're here for the first of what, 3 budget workshops so far?
We have 3 schedules, but we're hoping we don't take 3.
Yes, please. I have an extra.
Do you?
You can have that.
Okay, no, I'm
I'll
good.
take a ruler if you go. Oh, she's been on. I'll give you yours back.
Okay, you can.
Oh,
I have a fancy.
I was just gonna use my folder.
So I don't know, oh, I have one more sheet.
I mean, Michelle, I'll give it to somebody.
Right. Get price on that.
So this is Abby's first time. Laura and I will kind of take the lead, but you guys kind of know how this all goes.
Yeah, been here, done that.
Okay, I do have an extra ruler. Laura entered most of the revenues. I entered most of the expenses. Neither one of us has a crystal ball, so we don't know what's gonna happen. So these are our best estimates. So I guess we want to start with revenue.
Sure. Yes, if anybody has any questions about any of them.
Just the one question I have is typically the state revenue sharing doesn't go down. This is just our best estimate and hopes that it'll be higher.
I think they did talk about it going down.
But you get this number off the state website.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that's a confirmed number then.
yes,
Okay.
it's their best estimate.
Right. I can look into that one more time just to be,
Well, typically what we've done in the past is sort of estimated low. Because we didn't know, I mean, we kind of knew from that state website
Right.
what the number was gonna be,
Right.
but
even in-
oftentimes it changed.
22, 23 compared to 23, 24, it went down too. So.
Yeah,
But you never know until you get the actual number at the end. So, but I'll look into that one more time, just to.
are we expecting some greater than normal building permits coming up?
Michelle, you plug those in.
I talked to Kevin Polly and he is expecting it to increase.
Okay.
So I did a slight increase,
Yeah. Conservative,
conservative, yeah.
and then we'll be better off there.
Right.
What are we doing this year? Oh, maybe OT.
And now just to explain one thing, the interest, earned interest is what we get off of the money that's in our bank accounts. And then two below that, that's 669, that says investment income from CD/investments. At audit last year, Chelsea had us separate those, so all of the money, interest in the bank accounts and the investments used to be all under interest. Now they want it separated, so
So
that's.
can
why
I ask a
that's
question? Sure. We currently have a little over 36,000 we've gotten in interest. And proposed budget is 60,000. And on investment income, we have 46,000 and we're only proposing 38.
Well, because we have less money in the CDs than what we had, but now that.
What
the-
CDs?
Or not the CDs, the investments,
Okay,
but because like that, and that.
But you-
Number does not include the
Enterprise.
escrow, right, that doesn't include that.
right, but why do we think interest is gonna go up so much?
That was gonna be my
Where are
question.
you talking about in the,
Which number?
665 above it.
oh yeah, the regular interest? Well, because. That's what I added up, everything, it all came to that, and that's even an actual conservative number. That's based on what we've done. Prior, and
But that's like 40% more than what we've already collected this year in 9 months.
it is,
And none of that is the escrow funds, right? That's.
No.
Escrow's in water, so,
water,
yeah.
right,
okay.
this doesn't include that. Well, I have all my,
Yeah, because we
And
spent
that's-
some of the funds from public safety, I think,
Well, I know that we've.
when we
we've done
put
a
paid
good
on
job.
call on shift.
Well, I know that we've done a good job
these are all the
of,
water.
of setting aside funds. And that's all the money that's in that Huntington Bank.
We're at that, I just used the same number that we had. Based on last year,
The interest rates
the.
are going down.
Oops, general
mean,
fund
savings,
savings, we did
if
have.
they
a lot
pay
of
on
money in
savings,
there
it goes
this year.
So you
Um,
based
Yeah.
your,
The special assessment roads. Go ahead.
you based your estimate on the current interest rates?
Because they'll go,
As what we did last calendar year.
All right, because I don't
Because we
think
can
we're gonna-
lower that down.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the same
I don't think
interest.
we are
You
either.
wanna go to 40?
Well, I don't think it'll go down that much. If there's, I think what are we getting? Something like 5.25, something like that right now?
You're talking investment income.
Well, but even that money that's in the 60,000 is probably at least in a money market.
We're in
water separate.
the.
That's in Huntington, right?
I
Right,
guess what are we
But-
getting interest on?
The general funds, right?
But that's an investment fund too.
I'm sorry, you repeat that, please.
What are we getting, what accounts are we getting interest on?
For this fund, the interest is from our general pool.
A
And,
checking account?
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, so it's probably in a
the
money
checking
market.
account, yeah.
but we move that. When it gets over a certain amount, don't we move it into
the investment,
investment to get a
right,
higher
right.
interest
Yeah,
rate?
Right.
but it's probably in a higher yield money market anyway, but I don't think you're gonna get this. The
When I,
likelihood of it maintaining the same interest rate is low.
when I just moved the money into the, Huntington, the escrow money that we received, I moved it into the Huntington. Investment account, and it's getting 4.3% interest.
Yeah, it's probably.
It's going low, it used to be at 4.5.
They're about ready to lower them again, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But the market's supposed to go back up.
well, it'll fluctuate. That
Right.
number will change. I would, just for safety purposes, I would suggest that we drop that down to it probably closer to 45 than to
This-
60.
Okay.
The interest.
The investment income or the
The
Just the-
interest earned.
interest earned, okay, 45,000?
We'll see how it changed down here. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yep. So are we good with?
So are we gonna do, let me ask you this, when we make these changes, are we doing it? I see you changed it in the proposal, but as opposed to the recommended?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a good point. Yeah, because I think that's what we changed, right?
Right.
So, yeah, that's how we used to.
So what are all the blank ones? Are those just nothing in those, or those are?
Well, we don't get like non-emergency. We don't get any revenue from that anymore.
Like that, right?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so every single one that's blank is
Right, like,
supposed to be.
We're not likely to get opioid money.
no.
Yeah.
Not that we're aware of. Like, I don't expect to get any elections reimbursement next year either.
So just to explain just a little bit, so the interest amount is from the economic development money that's in the bank account. And then the roads, which the roads are going away. This is our last year to collect on roads. And then the general pool, I'm not even touching nothing. I didn't think it was. But anyway, that's what those are. And then in the investments are the general fund pool that we invest there. And then that's it. That's the only one that's in there. So maybe the
Wishes are precious.
the general pooled. For the investment. 38. I don't think that's a bad number.
Okay.
Explain to me the item 101-000-626.040 administration and utilities from DPW. Why would that be in general funds?
What was that number again?
The one that's at 54,000,
626,040,
about 2/3 of the way down the page.
54,000.
Admin and utilities from. DPW.
Oh, they pay from their funds for the utilities that go through out of the general fund, right?
But we never transfer. I think we can take that right out of
Yeah,
there.
I wonder if that's even
Does
a
that
revenue
happen?
stream.
Did you put the number? I don't remember putting that number in there.
That was the number they come up with what the DPW had and what we paid for out of the general fund to cover their area.
But we haven't charged that.
No, we
If
haven't
you
done
can
that
see,
in
we haven't
3
charged
years.
that. So I would put that to 0.
You don't get it, you can't put it down.
Yeah,
Recommended is 0, so we'll just leave it. like
Yeah,
that.
it's a way to,
that's an
the
in and
city
out.
we know is real good at this.
Yeah, very.
Well,
Uh,
just like we used to do that with the fire department.
Permit,
Right.
right.
Which we don't do that either. That one was under 101-000-626-020. And we don't do that anymore.
this is a way to transfer enterprise money back into the.
Well,
general fund.
that's
And we never
basically
do
what
it.
I was asking.
Right.
It was
We
just
haven't done that.
essentially an in and out thing, and if we're not,
We're not doing it, let's
Actually
not
doing
show
it,
it, yeah.
then I don't think we should put it in there at all.
I have one question, Laura.
Mhm.
The administration fees, do we
What they
collect
owe
that
us, we
much
should
money?
get back. What they
Well,
owe us,
yes.
we should get back.
That's from
Yeah.
collecting the taxes.
But that'd be from a different line.
Get that from, I collect the tax money. And then from that money, we distribute money to the admin fee the township gets. We also get the township operating, fire department gets fire department operating.
System.
And then, I send all the other money out. to-
But this number here, this 122,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. That's a good number. Okay,
Yes,
that's
I forget the percentage, what is it? 2.5%?
That's pretty interesting that
I think it's 5.
Well, I was trying to do the quick math.
No, they've got people working on everything.
it's pretty interesting that we collect 1/4 of our taxes by
As an
administrative fees
administrative
versus
fee.
versus property taxes are 435,000. That's amazing.
Because that administrative fee is based on all the taxes.
I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was 5%, did you say?
I think so. I'd have to look. My brain's gonna.
I think it's something like that.
I believe it's 5.
$500, what is that?
North Point Shores road assessment, that's basically an in and out.
In and out.
There's gonna be an
Yeah.
expense.
Actually collected it.
Yeah, there's gonna be an equal amount in the liability.
Yeah, I don't know.
Michelle, North Point Shores is an in and out, in here and out on the expense side.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Except we do charge them an administrative fee somewhere
We
along.
charge
the
them,
end.
yeah, at the end, we charge them 2 or 3%. I'd have to look that up
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So do we budget that? At 2 or 3?
We just take it out of their account.
well, but,
And give it to us.
I know,
Give it
but,
to us.
but where do we put it?
yeah.
I'd have to look it up.
I mean, we have a line item for
So
it?
for example,
It
if I
probably
go,
goes
if
into
I
the
go to the
administrative
liabilities,
fees.
will it be roughly 2% less? In other words, if we bring in 47,400,
Mhm.
do we participate in the road at 45,000 some odd dollars or?
Right, that's all the money they have to actually.
Right, so I wonder if that would be. I understand how you.
We
do it
have to
in a-
show it
As a revenue,
as a revenue and then show it as
an
an
expense.
expense.
And that's also collected on the tax bills. When
Yeah,
I do that distribution, this is where. it
So
goes.
it's shown as an expense.
When they, you pay the
When I-
So we have a lower expense than we have in revenue. And that's how we do it, and then that's how we,
I would,
Not
we
necessarily.
don't.
No, it
we-
shows up in a revenue. I think it shows up in administrative fees.
Are you talking about our cut?
Our cut.
Yeah, in
for the
other words, you,
purchase.
you show the gross amount
Yes,
that the residents pay,
right.
and then you show a smaller amount.
Nope, I
paid
show
off
the
to the-
gross amount and then we show a journal entry. Taking our administrative fee out of their expense account and into our administrative revenue.
so in Department 602, health and revenue.
So we, okay, so we have a revenue account on here. line
Which
item.
I think it is just the one that the administrative fees that Laura uses.
So
I'd have to look and see
do we
where,
have an
where-
admin. for
it might be
public safety?
miscellaneous income.
Yeah, because that one's property tax.
Yeah, so it's probably under miscellaneous or something. I'd have to look that up.
Too many numbers to try to.
Remember how we do every journal entry, yes.
I just wonder if we're adding that in for our revenue side of our budget, so that. you know,
We have to, because it is revenue.
Yeah, okay,
And then it gets taken out as an expense from Northern,
right,
right,
but it should be less than the revenue amount, is what I was saying.
yeah, that's not how the accountants let us do it.
It's interesting that the plumbing permits and the are static and the mechanical permits are slightly more,
And electric.
but the building permits are percentage wise, looks like they're higher.
Electrical permits took a big jump.
It's just a guesstimate, and
Okay, no, that's fine.
these, remember, 80% of that money gets paid out
Mhm.
to the inspector.
Right,
So if it goes up higher than that, then we have to adjust the expense account too.
right.
I mean, these are pretty consistent with.
What's been happening,
Right.
yeah.
It seemed like they were a lot lower this year. The
They
building
were a
permits.
little lower. We didn't have as big a projects as we had in previous years.
And last year was a pretty good year. 24,
23, 24 was,
right.
had a bank in there. Hotel.
Ready to move on?
I am,
On page 1,
Yep, that's good.
okay.
And so then I'm just gonna copy these numbers and put them in our office,
Correct.
and I'll do it after.
Right.
transfer of public fund.
So the appropriation from the general fund to public safety we put in is 200,000. And, the Thunder Bay liaison offer, so it's about 65,000.
Why did we bump that so much?
The liaison officer?
Yeah,
I don't know, Cash Man, why are you charging us so much more?
We were paying a fourth, I think, and now we're paying.
Yeah, third, now that the county.
We were paying a third, now we're
the
paying
county
half.
Now we're
not
paying,
paying anymore then?
no,
We're pushing it on to everybody else? That's one way to balance a budget, I suppose.
There's some other things in the works, but we'll see how that pans out.
So the schools, are they paying that part of it? Is the
The
schools?
school is paying half and then the township paying half.
But their costs go up every year too because of wages and benefits. So it's gonna go up every year.
Well, no,
Just went up.
I mean, over the,
Uh,
They not.
They have increases for this year and next year, so.
Well, I know there's benefits went up. Is that these benefits?
Yeah, I think the county saw like a 14% increase. Somewhere around in that range too, so.
Man, Wayne.
question. Under the $200,000 appropriation to the fire department or public safety. Is that in addition to the other monies that we have committed under the out of our savings? There was a discussion,
Yes.
If it is.
This
So-
would be the general fund contributing to.
and then on top of that, one more year of the 100,000. Remember there were two
They still
distributions.
have a fund balance that they can,
No, we had actually made a motion, I guess it was,
For the paid on call, right?
no, it was there was some monies in our savings
right.
that we were going to distribute. There was gonna be
Chinese
two
and-
$100,000 contributions to the fire department over a 2-year period.
From their fund balance.
I don't remember where it was gonna come out of.
We have
That at all.
yeah.
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember the motion being made.
Oh, I do. Yeah. What's the fund balances?
So on top of the contribution from the
We took
general
money
fund,
out of that sock fund, money.
Yes.
We took money out of that.
To help cover the paid on call
Yes.
shifts. Yes,
We took money
I
out of
remember
that.
that,
I remember it being,
but I don't remember ever saying that.
I guess I'd have to look back on the minutes.
I don't remember that.
Well, this was
The problem.
several
is-
months ago.
Yeah, it could have been in October. Something
You
like that,
remember?
September.
I can ask Kaylee to check the minutes. I think it was in the fall.
Yeah, because it was before election.
Wasn't
I'm
too
sure
long
of that.
Yeah, it was
It
prior,
was before this chief.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was under the previous supervisor. It was a discussion that we had with the previous fire chief to help get over some of these funding humps and I remember it being 200 over a 2-year period.
Okay, Haley's gonna look, but by the look on her face, she does not recall this happening.
Wow,
they
that's so
think
weird.
it's gonna be prior to November, they said.
All right,
So
all
she's
right,
gonna
well,
start in August and read the minutes.
no worries, we'll move on.
Okay. So are we on to Board of Trustees?
Yep. All of the other costs have been confirmed through insurance companies and so on.
Yes.
Should be just about exactly the same as last year. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Under the, to me, the Board of Trustees one is pretty straightforward. Under the supervisor, I don't remember what the terms through the compensation committee was. Was that
Hers was 6% for this year.
okay, so it was a built-in, okay.
Yeah. If she wants to take it, she doesn't have to take it.
My opinion is not to take it.
Well, we're underwater right now, right? At the end of the bottom line.
No, we have 117.
Oh, I thought I saw $50,000
I can read
underwater.
that.
I mean,
We are with, public safety. But we're not, Laura just
Oh,
has the general
I'm
fund
sorry.
up here, but
oh,
you don't wanna have the public safety.
no, but I can bring
Yeah,
it up
gotta
to where we're at right
Bring us
now.
up to date.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But that 117 isn't gonna change, cause you're not moving them over to the recommended right away.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
What are you telling me?
that 117 that were in the black at the bottom,
Oh, yes.
No.
that's not going to change because.
Until I move them into the next
You
column.
move
Right,
them
yeah,
into the right.
obviously it's gonna go down by
Yeah.
15,000.
Right.
Right.
I'm missing something.
I was gonna ask just to back up 1 second on the
Okay.
Board of Trustees, dues and memberships. It was at 3,500, now it's 500. Is that because of MTA not being a member?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that's a pretty nice number. Okay, look at that.
Are we looking at supervisors right now?
Right.
Okay.
Where we at? We're still on supervisor or we in? Where you guys at?
You were on supervisor.
And there's a decent laptop that probably doesn't, none of the computer stuff probably needs to be replaced in there, does it? Is there?
Health insurance took a big bump.
Oh,
Because we went from a family of 4 to a family of 5.
Mm,
Oh, for one person, it went up that much?
Well, Nathan had a family of 4, Abby has a family
Oh,
of 5.
I see, got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then there was a month this year where no supervisor had health insurance in
Mhm.
December until Abby got it switched in January.
Right,
So,
right,
yeah.
So then the health insurance under the
Fire department.
full-time fire department
Right.
is going to go down.
Significantly.
All right.
Yes,
It all evens out.
yes.
What were you talking about, the computer thing?
You're all set, right, with computer hardware, like a computer,
Yeah,
a
I'm good. I
printer
don't
and
need
all that.
anything.
Now, legal took quite a jump.
Well, just because it's her first year, I bumped it up because she's gonna have more questions and
We
Yeah.
just, well, not
spend more time talking to Jim.
Yes,
What
and I appreciate
what
you
is
putting that
the,
in.
what is the retainer? What does it include, other than, like writing, motion,
We
writing?
call him, it's part of that retainer.
Is there?
Oh,
like
okay, so
a-
there's not like
He
a
keeps,
working
like, the
down,
retainer's so many hours.
okay,
And so Tim keeps track of those hours and keeps chipping away at what's in the retainer. If we go over the retainer, then we get billed those activities.
okay.
Well, so what are those numbers? Just maybe he doesn't want us to talk about that.
Oh, it's in our contract. If I pull the contract from
Yeah.
We approve it every year in March.
at the
What
budget
the-
hearing.
Yeah, what the retainer consists of, it's a separate
Okay.
document.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
talk about it then.
contract.
Right, yeah, and then, but doesn't that include so many board meetings too for Tim to attend?
Nope, it's all by the hour.
Okay, all right.
I thought it.
I thought the
oh,
board meetings were part of that, and then anything in additional was whatever, so.
No,
Transportation and travel down because it probably again probably connected to the MTA.
Not necessarily. I've actually been attending, several, like, so I just was at a training all day yesterday in Gaylord for an MTA training. So I can still attend them. I just have to pay a higher fee because we're not a member. So I pay a non-member fee to attend their trainings.
Via Zoom, or did you go?
No,
there?
this was an
Oh,
in-person, and then
okay.
I'll be attending like in February, I'll be attending for the recommendation of the assessor with board of review training through
Mhm,
MTA and Gaylord
mhm.
also.
but if you look at the activity for the first 9 months, it's
Been
under
pretty low.
3,000.
Yeah,
So 6,000 is a bit high for this year. That's why we knocked it down a
Okay.
1,000.
Yeah. And the same thing with the change in the schools and conventions, just because I am attending more trainings, we bumped that up a little bit. I'm looking at doing some other trainings that will be reimbursed through the power plan. But in order to do them, like one of them is $250, the other one is $550.
Mhm.
But in order to do it, we have to have the money in there to do it, to be reimbursed.
Yep.
So,
Nope,
but
those
they are
are-
planned to be reimbursed.
Those are, those schools will be beneficial to you, every single one of them.
Steve, our motion only for the additional funding of 20,000 for additional wages.
That is so weird.
Yeah, and it was done on September 23rd.
You want to read it and see? if it
No,
makes
no,
sense?
no, I believe you. I don't,
No, I meant just maybe reading the wording might click.
no, nothing clicks.
Click, click.
It's more of a thud.
Are we done, Supervisor? Are we good with that one?
Yes.
I just have one question for Abby. Since
Yeah.
we've gone through both of the supervisor trainings, one through Fahey's office and then one through MTA, did you think one was better than the other?
They were truthfully completely different training. The Beatty Schultz one was very interactive. It was like a fun training. They did some skits and stuff, but the information that I learned was totally different. So it was absolutely beneficial for both. The training yesterday was a lot more in depth on like the actual roles and responsibilities, the legality of like what you can do versus what you can't do. Board wise,
Mhm.
and then in the afternoon, they separated us into groups of supervisor, clerk, treasurer, trustees, and we all had like an individual training.
Could they have a separate training for supervisors, depending on whether it was a charter or
No, so
general law?
actually they didn't, so I sat in, I was the only charter supervisor there. But speaking of that, I also want to bring up that we are also one of like 6 or 7 out of 1,240 townships that are not members of the MTA. Neil, one of their representatives, would like to come and give a presentation to the board if we can.
Hey, we've
arrange
offered that to him, did we?
Yeah,
Norm?
we sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, okay, well,
And
he
yeah, he did.
He brought it up to me yesterday, and said that he would love to come and give a presentation to the board, so.
Yeah.
We can.
Lower his price and
plan
I
for
can see that.
All they really gotta do.
Well,
is
they
cut
didn't think
their
we'd
prices
really
by
do it,
about-
apparently.
Yeah, all they gotta do is cut their prices by about 50%.
I had quite a conversation with them at a meeting that we had, when we got together for just a gathering here in Alpena, and they were pretty well fixed in their ways of what they wanted to do, and we just said, we're paying fees like the big boys and all the other big ones downstate and the middle of state. And I said, it's just not right. It's not, you gotta work on your fees. And they basically just blew us off, so.
Okay,
Well, I
and
was-
all of that happened before I was on the board, so I don't know, I haven't looked into what their fees are, or why they were charging
Yeah,
us, what
they
they
were
were charging.
significant.
I mean,
Jumped significantly.
I was at that meeting too, and I was talking with him.
Wasn't
and
it
I
something
thought-
like 10,000?
Oh, it's crazy.
It's over 7,000.
And
Yeah.
what was interesting is that all of the things that we would otherwise traditionally use, we could pay non-member fees for
Mhm.
and save thousands. And so,
Yeah, I would be interested to hear what he had to say about it, but also what you guys have to say about it, because I don't know, I wasn't involved in that, and I don't know, how they determine what we pay. If you guys know about that.
Well, if you
I
even
don't-
compare it to,
I can give you a
based
copy of the
upon,
bill.
it's
Right.
based upon,
Is it like
TIA,
100 size?
isn't it?
Yes,
but like Sanborn Township, they sent like their entire board to an MTA conference. Because they don't hardly pay any kind of membership. And I know the former supervisor had always wanted to go every year, but it would cost us thousands
it
of
was like
dollars. to
4,000 or
send one
5,000
person.
to send.
Where
one
they could
person.
send their whole board because of what their membership
Yeah,
was.
I got some information about the MTA conference in Grand Rapids this year, it's at the end of March. From a different township that was planning on sending, I don't know, somebody, and it was gonna be like $500 and something for the whole week, or for the 2 days or
Yeah,
whatever.
not including lodging and meals.
Oh, yeah.
No, that was including like their lodging, but I don't know what they pay. That was,
Oh, for their membership.
yeah, I don't know what they pay for the
Mhm.
membership, and like I said, I
In
don't know how
Grand
they determine
Rapids?
that.
Yeah, nowhere.
There was another conference that I would like to look into through them, and it's a supervisor specific, they call it a retreat. And they were saying if, depending, I don't know that I can even go if we're not members. I would assume so if we pay the higher fee. But it was a weekend, and I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I can go either. I think they said it was in March in Frankenmuth, and it's like it would be a supervisor's retreat, so it would be 2 days of just supervisor training. And I can look more into that. didn't
Well, I
really-
think you should
I
look
didn't
into it
too
because
much
those are
into
gonna
it.
be critical for your training.
Yeah, so that was something that they recommended. If you could only go to one training, they recommended doing that office specific training. And then obviously the training that I did yesterday was like, they called it their first training of 3 and then the retreat training. And then that conference. There's a 1-day pre-conference that they said would be the next most beneficial. But like I said, I haven't looked that far into it.
Arms ready for it.
So we're moving on to clerks.
Yes, ma'am.
The one thing I want to point out is health insurance. I did bump that up quite a bit because Haley is getting married in next December and her husband will be on for the last 3 months of this fiscal year.
Yes.
So into the HSA, we pay just a percentage, I guess, of.
No, we pay flat amounts. If you're single, we pay 1,300 a year divided into 2 payments. If you have a family plan, we pay 26.
Okay, so it's not whether you have one child or a dozen.
Nope, we pay the same whether it's.
Okay,
We did talk about increasing that from 26 to 3,000 per family.
And
Yeah.
1,500.
15, yeah,
Right,
1500.
1,500, so,
Because when I started here, and I think when the program started,
mhm,
the HSA contribution matched to the deductible.
mhm.
Now our deductible is. I think
Higher.
way
Yeah,
higher.
it's
Yeah.
significantly higher.
So this would
Yeah.
help
but wouldn't there
offset
be
that.
see, how do I want to word this without sounding cheap? Do you? I suppose there's some where the HSA is emptied each year, but there's probably more often than not where the HSA follows through into the next year. So in other words, I didn't use all the money up, so it can carry through to the next year.
Some and some pay it all, use it all up. Plus, we can add additional to it if we want.
Yeah, you can add.
I mean, if you know you're gonna have surgery or
Yeah.
something, you can add to it.
Well, and there's tax benefit to add money to
Right.
this, so.
I mean, I just thought since the deductible went up, it would be nice to kick that up a little bit too.
Well, I suppose just remember. It's hard to take that stuff away later on.
Well, it's not like we can afford to pay our employees big bucks either, but this is a little way to offset that too.
Well, maybe that's worth discussion as we go through the whole budget to see whether or not there's any
Yeah.
room for anything like that.
Yeah.
But you're less one employee in your office, so. Right? Or no,
Right,
I mean, does everybody participate in HSA?
right, everybody gets HSA. But I don't know what down one employee means.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
I thought that.
Kelly was underwater anyway, so she wouldn't have been paid anything out of this general fund. So the person who's no longer in Laura's office was paid out of the water fund.
But this is the clerk.
Oh, she was, okay,
But yeah,
okay,
so this is all general fund,
So it's-
so.
gotcha.
And this is the clerk's office, so it wouldn't have been paid out of this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking it
Yeah.
was your office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So if we were to increase that, like, I'll just use myself as an example. So I take the full amount that I'm allowed to take out of my check and put it in the HSA. So if we increase that amount, then that would, like, for my example, I would then have to decrease how much I'm taking out of my check.
Right, because-
Max, I would be over.
You would, yes.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
I was just.
Yeah, what is the maximum contribution you could pay into an HSA? 7,500 or something
I
like
was
that?
thinking 8,000, but I'm not sure.
It depends if you're single or married, paid and all that. I was just think it's 8,500, yeah.
Because when I did my taxes last year, I remember the lady called me and said, if you do this, otherwise it's gonna have to pay in and whatever, it changed it, so
Yeah, because
I
I
wasn't
just,
gonna have to pay in as much.
right, I just had to figure that out for us because.
Mhm.
Because we switched, so then I had to figure out in my account how much I could take out before I exceeded that.
Right,
8,300,
I know it was around 8.
4,100 for this is 2024, so I don't know.
Yeah, it went up in
20, no,
2025.
25 looks like it's still.
Oh, I get the $1,000 catch up because I'm old.
I'm older than you.
So you should get the $1,000
I want more
catch up.
ketchup. With my mustard.
I don't know what that even-
Just mustard for me.
When you get a certain age, you get to put an extra $1,000 in there, just like every
I
year.
think when you get a certain number of kids, you should be able to put that in here. Well,
Workers' compensation doesn't sound right
For who?
for the clerk's department. Seems low.
Work,
They've got a total salary of about 100,000. That rate would be more than a penny.
Okay, so what do you
I
want me to
think you
put
should,
there?
I think you should bump that to,
At 723. Let's
see,
That was 2 something before, right?
We only paid 125.24 last
is
year.
that right?
Yeah,
Okay,
so do we want to do 125 again?
yeah, I probably would.
we're at
In fact,
7:23.
we probably should go back to the supervisor and see what that looks like.
Yeah, 723.
Supervisor was, well, under the supervisors, it was 1,100.
They have a different rate.
Oh, that's right, because of the 9410.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are rate, Laura and I.
All 88.
No, it's not.
You're all 88
Oh,
today.
because we're elected?
No,
No, I'm elected too.
Yeah,
because we sit at a desk all day.
yeah.
We're not so
Oh.
likely to hurt ourselves.
Oh, I wasn't sure you meant.
You're gonna get-
Carpal
you're gonna get
tunnel,
a-
like,
I'm not sure what that
You
means.
get a nasty paper cut.
Hey, those get infected and sometimes, amputation occurs. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yep, pretty rare. That's a hell of a paper cut.
Okay, are we through the clerk yet?
See, board review should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Board of the, it looks like we only spent 440 so far, but their big month is March, where they have a big payroll. so-
Yeah, we have 3 meetings in March, 2 all-day meetings. and then a
Yeah.
short meeting.
So I pretty much left that the same as it was the year before. Now we're on to the treasurer.
Do they get
Oh,
increases or
geez.
anything with those?
We would have to vote on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they got like if there was a government determined.
So we just entered into a contract under with F and V. How come the payroll is the way it is? Shouldn't that be down?
That's
Oh,
water.
because it goes out of the water.
That goes out of the water fund.
Yep, I'm sorry.
Oh, did you want to cut Laura's wages? We
No,
can
no,
do that.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hell.
I had my head in the gutter. In the sewer. So there's. Now, how many employees how many people on the health insurance in the treasurer's
Two.
department? Just two?
Always
Four.
two.
Well,
Well, then,
yeah, there's 2 employees.
there's how
and
many
2
family
spouses. Right.
Oh, right.
So there's
for
4
the
people.
health
there's a total of
4
four.
members,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Do you want my workman's comp too to be
Yeah.
That's
that's
probably
that.
125?
Per the payroll, the health insurance in the clerk's department is, how many employees in
The
that?
people are younger. The deputy is much younger in the clerk's
Okay.
office, so that is
All right.
significant.
But we are,
Age rated.
It's
Got it.
we're
rated.
increasing the
We're staying
workman's
there,
comp to
though.
125.
Yeah.
Okay, computer.
Are we still on you, Laura?
So we need some computer stuff in the treasurer's office, I take it? Hardware?
I did that.
You gave me.
Are you adding a computer up there?
No, we already have one that's gonna be revamped, right?
I don't know why I did that.
I mean,
But it's so long ago.
unless I wrote it in, put it.
I
in
hate it when I
wrong.
have to explain my rationales.
Computer hardware.
So we'll be
That's what it
increasing
was
it,
last
nobody will
year,
ever
that
know
doesn't-
that.
Do you need some hardware?
think so.
Cause you got two scans.
That's fun.
I don't
So
think
what do you
I
wanna
have-
knock that down to like 500
Postage.
in case something goes wrong?
728.
Something will go wrong.
How about 1,200 or even 1,000 is fine. I don't even know if we do that. I don't even know
Okay,
how
let's
much a
just give you
computer
a
is.
thousand.
Yeah, I guess I'd rather guesstimate high on these.
Computer,
Yeah,
to leave it at 1,500?
leave it at
dropping it to
1,000,
1,000.
amend it to 1,000.
Postage
would
going up.
postage for
Postage,
the water bills that comes out of water department.
yes,
But these are the tax bills.
these are tax bills.
I need to make it.
So postage costs will remain the same.
Aren't they going up?
I thought it's.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah,
heard that
it's
they were
too.
going up.
Yeah,
You don't think
that's
the
why I. left
prices
it
are
at
going
60.
down?
But do we get bulk rate stuff?
No.
Really?
Because, oh, who explained this the other day? They were in here. You want to send things first class, and if you don't, you send it third class, then it takes, instead of something taking 3 days to be delivered. Based on first class, if you go to third class, could take a week for something.
Oh, tell me if you
somewhere.
do return receipt to, or.
Stuff I don't want to see anyway.
For tax
Stuff that
bill,
goes with it.
right,
Okay.
if you do bulk mailing, it doesn't get returned.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lose track of people.
We need to increase the legal.
Hold on, what about the cost of a stamp?
I'm not sure, I could ask Ron.
I'm gonna do it right now.
She
Sure.
might know. Do you know the, oh,
Oh, yeah, postage is going up.
But do you have any big mailings left for this year? And you're only
No.
at 10.5, so 16 seems like plenty.
yeah, I would leave it that way.
Okay,
Yeah, and you're right, because, but I don't know why we amended it to 1,600
16,000.
or 60. Well, it's not just taxes, it's the.
Just-
Assessing
I
bill?
know.
Or-
I don't remember us mailing.
When we have
did one.
equalization, they send it out on, do they include in their contract with us the postage?
Then they
No.
just bill us for any postage they use,
No, we put up our postage.
but they bill us for postage when they send stuff out.
It's
Assessing
separate,
or-
so it comes out of this line.
Assessing does.
Right, assessing does.
I was talking about equalization,
Right,
when they
don't
send out our stuff.
use- County equalization don't charge us, they don't do any postage for us.
Yeah, they don't send.
We
anything.
have to stamp them?
Right,
Okay.
correct. But assessing,
They just print and stuff them in envelopes.
right. Yes.
That's, it's a moving number. They.
Do we
raise
have
those
some,
about 3 times a year.
this software, is that part of the BSNA?
The
Is that
data
just-
processing
yeah,
software,
yeah.
yes, that's BSNA.
Okay. So that, do we know if their rate, their fee is going up?
Oh, it goes up every year.
Well, yeah, that was probably a stupid question.
They
I
have it-
probably could have answered that one.
They have a new program now too, which is BSNA, the cloud, and they want all these people to go towards this cloud deal rather than the .NET that we have. And the service has definitely changed because it takes hours for us to get a phone call back because their goal and their priority is this .NET or the cloud people. So eventually we're gonna have to switch and upgrade to that, which is very costly.
That's another word for China.
Yeah, that's another word for
Yeah, TikTok.
TikTok is the same price.
planned obsolescence.
I did speak to another supervisor across the state who said that they use cloud-based and she said it was a really big mess right now and she.
Yeah,
when I said
they
we
need to
used it,
stay
she
away
said
from
it
it.
was
Yeah,
long
I'd
as
rather not be a
yeah.
beta test.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, she said it was a disaster
Yeah.
and
So I guess my question is 7,000 likely to be flat, or is that likely to be? Because it was 7,000, well,
Last time.
let's see, it was 7,000 for the 24-25 budget as amended, but now it's the same for this year. Would it be likely to be more?
Well, I think we've only spent 4,700
Well,
so
that's what I-
far this year,
was
so
gonna be my next-
7,000 seems like
All
it's
right,
plenty.
That's fine.
budgeted.
There it is.
Interest payments on the, is that the lease on some
This is
postage
the,
machine or
this
something
is
like
an
that?
auditor deal.
I'm working with them to figure out where those,
Right.
yeah.
It's-
But is that a postage machine or something?
It's
like that?
supposed to, it's the quaddy.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of weird I don't know, that's where they put it when they were
Right.
here.
Computer in Luxembourg.
Principal payment on the lease and interest payment. on that. Okay, all right, got it.
They
Postage.
call it the beast.
Norm, did you really want to be here for 4 hours today? He wanted to get it all done in one day.
I just asked how long.
I have another budget meeting at 1 o'clock.
Okay,
so
let's
I'm gonna-
go on then.
Yes,
Focused.
So the assessor is just feeling really nothing more than some contractual
That's the
stuff.
kind.
Yes.
And
Expensive contractual stuff.
that fee doesn't have a escalation clause in it, well, it looks like it's been established. All right, so-
Yeah, every time I reach out to them via email or phone call, we're not gonna charge them.
No,
for that.
no.
That's what somebody I talk to on a daily basis now too.
No.
Okay.
We pay 10,000 a month and then we get a bill for the lump of all the inspections they did.
All right, so that's a pretty good number.
Yes,
You've already been to my house.
and they do about 20% a year.
And after
Yeah.
5 years, it'd be good to put it out for bid to see if we can.
Who's the
get it.
guy's wife?
I guess I'm curious.
Number.
So the BSNA, once again, is the software system that the assessor will use just for consistency, right?
Yes.
Right, and it talks to tax.
Okay.
Where's the fee for them doing the 20% a year?
It's under the professional and contractual services.
Oh, so it's included in the 220?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Elections, because we don't have as many elections, why this payroll's down.
Yes.
Will we even have one this year? Will we have in August?
Only if somebody goes for a millage. Yeah. And if they do, we're hoping they do it in May, not August, or they can do it in November.
So this is an anticipatory budget.
I have to schedule something,
Okay,
put something
okay.
in there, yes. Cause I don't know if we're gonna have elections or not.
I got you.
Okay, so let me know when we're on building and grounds.
I just skipped the election, so.
Yeah,
Moving on.
let's move on.
Okay, so
I would be curious before we go, why do we have $20,000 in equipment and furniture?
because our equipment is outdated and we're going to be having to buy either new tabulators this fiscal year or the following fiscal year. I don't know when that's.
This is sort of pushed by the state then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. May I have
Just fix it
another?
Are we good with elections now?
Mhm.
Okay, on building and grounds. Laura and I and Abby have been talking about hiring a part-time maintenance person. We don't have all the GLs in there for this, so I did figure that the cost would be about $30,859.40.
About-
Approximately.
That would be
Around.
if they
Wow.
average 25 hours a week at a pay of $20 an hour. So I will update this budget, but I need to add all those GLs.
You said 30,859,
40.
40.
So that would increase that by then. huh?
Yes.
Well, so how many people do we have now that are on our payroll doing that?
Doing maintenance?
Yeah,
We have 0.
Nobody.
so then,
We have a 352,000.
We would get rid of our current cleaning people.
yeah.
And replace them with a part-time maintenance person that can do everything, clean, shovel, mow the grass.
Empty the waste basket.
Replace light bulbs, clean do everything, that we have nobody to do anything.
Finish the
We have to
painting.
bother the
here.
fire department, hey, can you come over and help do this or
Move
that?
tables. and-
Right, can you shovel, can you know? And then if we pay F and V, that's extra money on top of what they already get paid, or out of scope.
okay, so all right, so where is that number?
She didn't put it in. here.
Okay, so,
Because I have to add the GLs and I will make sure they're. on
okay,
the
so
next
this is
one.
gonna be another $35,000 somewhere.
31.
30,008.
$39.40.
I'm gonna round that baby
Or
to
are we
31.
getting rid of any cost that's in there now?
We would get rid of some of the janitorial services
We'd still have
at
to buy our
$90 a
supplies.
week.
Right.
So,
So would this just be a divide by 12 cost, or would this be as they, who's keeping track of whatever they're doing? This would be a subcontracted person.
I don't know if it'd be subcontracted or employee.
Probably an employee.
Part-time, right? You're talking-
Yeah.
Yeah,
part-time.
like they could work up to 20 hours. They could.
Okay,
be
so
Up to
flexible.
25 hours.
Or up to 25, right, but they could come in on the weekends, they could work nights, they could come in during, you
Yeah,
know.
I got it. So you're contemplating all the ancillary costs.
Yeah, Social Security, Medicare, Bright House, work comp.
Well,
What about?
but you're talking about an
contribution to
employee then, not a
to
contract.
Contribution.
They would not,
They wouldn't be eligible for.
no, it'd be under 30 hours a week.
Oh, okay, okay.
Part-time.
What is the bypass maintenance on here?
It's to shovel the bypass, to plow the bypass.
So is that a separate, that's something separate than like the snow plowing?
It's, yes, we divide that out.
They would shovel.
Like how it on-
Yeah, no.
I'm not
Yeah,
shoveling.
nobody's shoveling it.
I didn't say
So
shoveling,
how
I said snow plowing.
would that be that tractor that they would use?
We got rid of the tractor.
Not.
Oh, are you saying we would have the maintenance person doing that?
No, I'm asking
That's
under
right.
building and
Oh,
grounds
okay, we're having
is,
to
I'm
cover.
sorry.
Okay.
I was asking, what is that?
I think
That
mostly they
is
do
the cost to
32.
maintain the bypass.
The bypass is on 23 south.
And that's who
Oh, it
we.
is? That's what
That's-
they said?
we really
Grasshoppers.
have- So that's what I'm saying, so that's. Just
The
a separate-
plowing is to do the parking lot here.
Okay,
But the bypass is 23 south.
No,
We don't
right.
have to do anything on M32.
Who takes care of the 32
well, somebody
sidewalk?
does it on 32.
Somebody does it. on
Somebody.
there.
Yeah, I thought-
We do.
I thought we paid for that.
I thought
We
we
think we do that?
Those
too?
are the two that we
I don't remember, I don't know if I've ever seen them. That the one,
Well, I've got a call about the
23
32
south.
one, so I know that somebody does it.
yeah, okay.
I wonder if it's Grasshopper or if it's somebody else because
Well, the only person we pay is
Is Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
So does, no. On the bypass maintenance, that's the line item we're talking about?
That's what I was asking about, yes, what is that $60,000, like, what is that? Bypass maintenance.
Was it?
it's 23 south, we know that.
And I think it's 32, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we definitely take care of 32.
I don't know that we plow 23 south.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
we
do.
do.
We do.
Because people
We
use-
got a call on that too.
I've dealt with that already.
And we're probably gonna have to do when that, I think that's still in the works.
On the
that little
Ripley?
Section, right.
Yeah, we'll be responsible for that too.
Right.
Where?
Ripley
From
from,
Jimmy John's to
basically-
like Rite Aid kind of.
It's on the other side of this Jimmy John. So basically from Grant Street to 223.
Oh,
it's gonna be an extension. of
By Ball
bypass.
Tire side, is that what you're talking about?
Other side.
Other side.
It's
Well,
the
come
other
on,
side.
Yeah, anyway.
So, but anyway, getting back to the 60,000, that's gonna take care of any chunks of asphalt that needs to be fixed and those sorts of things. Can't possibly just be plowing.
Yeah, it's gotta be for all the maintenance.
It's gotta be.
Yeah,
And
Don't they do the-
I assume that if we,
that might be a little high. I wonder if we had, I'll have to double check
Well,
and
but
see.
we didn't have much snow.
Well, see, we only, if you look back, it looks
But we
like you
did-
only spent in 23, 24, $5,000, 4,900.
well, that's kind of where I was going with
And-
this, is that it looks like we've had virtually no cost of repair. And I can't imagine.
But last year we had
Well, we put some money in.
13,000
the
and the year before that we spent 96,000.
Would that come out of bypass maintenance though?
Yeah,
Because
Well, the
they're
fix-
putting parking lots in there too, right? Building and grounds, right?
what
Parking
parking
lots
lots are you
and where?
talking about?
Well, you redid something to the parking lot and repainted the lines and put new
That would go,
sealer on it or something.
but that's not under bypass.
No, I wouldn't think.
Oh, I'm not looking at bypass. I'm just
Oh, I
looking at the
don't-
whole building and grounds. I'm
You know,
just,
yeah.
the whole building and grounds is,
Grounds maintenance and repair would have been that,
30,000.
yeah.
But that's the line I'm looking at that a couple of years ago was 5,000. Year before that was
Yeah, I just,
13, 14.
Yeah, but
I
there's
just-
been a lot of grounds maintenance things being done around here too. I mean,
and this is the year we need to get the resealed,
oh, right.
yeah, everything's up to
And
be
then last year
resealed.
we had the asphalt put back where ended here to towards.
For the
ball fields.
dumpster,
That whole back,
yeah.
that was part of that. But we also need to consider for building and grounds is, I mean, Abby's gonna be working on an RFP for, a new HVAC system. And then, is it the east wing or the east or the west?
You're the west end.
The east wing needs new windows. So we're trying to get prices on some of these things and a new website design.
Which,
Just see what else is out there.
So hold on, let's.
but big projects like that come out of capital outlay.
Okay, all right.
That's why, and I put 150,000.
All right,
Yeah,
and that answers that question
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
So then going back. This.
Spit it out.
I find it hard to believe that we would have a $60,000
But did we,
expense on a bypass.
when we approved that extension there, was that supposed to come out of here?
No, it was 100% paid. I just took this figure from last year, moved it forward.
DNR or some grant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Abby won't be able to. say
Not
it.
Abby.
Oh, I
Haley,
mean, if that's
sorry.
what we did last year, it's gotta be.
We,
pretty close.
we can look that up. I think 60,000 is high there. So let's see what we did last
Yes,
year.
I-
And if we had a big project, we'll take it down.
When did we
But-
seal code 32 and clean it all up? What was on that last year?
That's what we're gonna double check. So I think that number is high.
Is this including our
Sidewalk.
towers? Maintenance for the roads for our towers and that kind of stuff? too?
That would go under water department.
Yeah, the 60,000.
We
We'll-
just reached
we'll
it, 32.
Investigate that 60,000 and let you know at our next budget
Question
meeting.
mark there. As I see back in 22, there was a significant dollar amount that we spent.
Is street lighting down because we replaced all those lights? I'm still at the other page. Sorry.
On 32.
Yeah.
And we paid all the seats.
Wow, that's.
That wasn't a terrible cost. Almonds donated a lot of.
Why is the street lighting?
But maybe add all that stuff up.
I have no idea.
Find out.
Streetlights
That's,
seem way
needs,
low.
that's too low.
Bump that by 10,000 to 12,000? Or you want to go to 16 or? Did we put in a LED type lighting that would impact the cost
When those on 32?
wherever?
Yeah, I think they are.
I think so.
All right, so then that'll obviously impact the price. Cost.
We've been 12 to 15,000, right? Yeah, get somewhere in there.
So we're increasing it from 2,000 to what?
Well,
I would go at least up to 15,000 because we're already at 14,441. I would do 16 again. Yeah, I would do 16 also.
building improvements, 25,000. What are we improving?
Don't know.
There's always things.
There's a
We
ton
need
of
these,
stuff.
all
Let's
these things.
walk around.
Yeah, let's
Like,
go in.
Jane.
Okay,
All
but
these-
you also talked about the capital outlay at 150.
Okay, but they're two different things.
Okay,
If the project is under $5,000, it has to go under building and improvements. If a project is over 5,000, it goes under capital outlay.
and therefore into an RFP
Yes.
as well. Okay.
But see all these, when they did the roof. can you
Yeah,
see?
I know. They,
I mean, these look nasty. And we just have to find somebody, whoever, to come and, cause you gotta lower them down, I guess, and.
yeah,
clean 'em
there's
off
two
and-
parts to them.
You know how to do it, is that what you're saying?
That's
what I heard. You got
I can
voluntold.
figure it out. It might cost a little more than 25 though.
Yeah.
I'm bringing my power washer, that's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, it's weird when you, there's like about a, 3 or 4 foot gap between this and the actual skylight.
But the moths and the flies can get in.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think under general liability property insurance, I have an extra 0 on that one.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next one. Seemed a little high
There's an extra 0 on that
Where's
one.
that at?
under general liability, under building, next page.
Oh, okay,
I'm 65.
Yeah.
that's what I was looking for, the number.
Well,
Decimal point.
and just
Oh, yeah,
that, we made a bunch of money.
2,500, that's.
Yeah, I'm due on. No, I just didn't.
Just hit X up in the right corner. Get rid of everything. Did you really want to delete this page?
Where
Did
we
what?
at?
I was just looking on there, where does it show, you said it's a running budget, is she just not down far enough?
No, it would be a running budget number if we moved everything over
Oh,
from
to the
proposed
approved.
to
But
recommend.
does
I
it
think
give
he's
a number
speaking
like?
to-
Oh, it
I didn't get
No,
that.
it doesn't.
Okay, so those numbers don't change at the bottom until we,
Yeah,
So we move everything over.
92010. It's 2000, no.
Yeah, 920.
who is our law enforcement
010.
person?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
16,000.
from
No,
2000.
he doesn't do the law
Yeah.
enforcement.
Where are you?
It's on
I'm down on
330.
liquor liability,
Oh,
liquor
it's-
law
It's
enforcement.
Lynn.
Okay. Does she actually go out?
Supposed to every quarter.
Yeah,
Hasn't
Take
been done
teenagers out and
since Last
have them
summer,
buy
it needs to get
booze.
done every quarter.
because if that's the case, that $25.
There's
Insurance.
conflicting reports of whether it's
I don't
once
know.
annually or if it's supposed to be monthly or quarterly.
research it.
So
I just spoke about it this morning when starting to look into
Oh,
it,
okay.
so I assumed that I would get more information from you, and then Lynn was pulling me up all
I don't
the.
have any.
but you get that form you have to
Oh,
sign
yeah,
every
I'd
year.
have to find it.
Well, does it say on there? Does it say
says
on there
we're
that you have to
doing
do it
it.
quarterly, or just says that we are
Says that we're
doing it?
doing it.
Oh, okay,
That's
I'll
good.
have to pull it out
Okay.
because it'll be coming up again, I'm sure this year.
I was gonna say it's gonna be coming up close.
I want to do that.
we talked something about this yesterday at that meeting, they were talking about like having a township constable. And I don't know if that was just for, I was like,
I would love to be constable. Like to carry a badge. Look
Well,
important.
the
give you a badge.
the liquor law enforcement person is effectively can write tickets and can enforce things. And so they basically are a constable, essentially a police officer from a workers' compensation standpoint. That's why the number is probably low.
Used to be the
25.
township's head constables.
that's what I was saying, so
Yeah.
yesterday at that meeting, they asked, did anybody have a constable, and one person in the room raised their hand?
Yeah,
And then everyone laughed about it, they were like, it's only because like it's being phased out because nobody
It's like a drain
uses
commissioner.
it.
But there's really work for a drain commissioner to do.
why don't you increase,
Drink commissioners in like Oakland County and stuff are.
Oh, yeah.
oh, they're big deals.
they're big
Well,
deals.
here the
Yeah, they
big-
get paid big bucks.
Well, here there's,
It's county.
the county does that and then it's mostly for the dams.
Well, and we remember several years ago, Long Rapids where that culvert wasn't
Oh, yeah.
cleaned, and it was a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Bump the workers' compensation on that one to 100. Laura, under the workers'
Yeah, I'm sorry.
compensation on the liquor enforcement, it's gonna be more than $25.
100?
I would go to 100, and that'll probably be a little bit high, but that's what I would do.
Is that because like what we talked about earlier, where you're actually out in the field? doing it,
Right.
So it would.
Right.
It's field.
It's actually a higher rate even than the supervisor's rate.
we're increasing
Why was
it.
it at one time 200 and 174? What was the activity? Building inspector.
And then building inspectors, that's also Lynn's payroll there.
The clerical, yeah.
Oh, we're pretty much the
So how does Lynn get paid for this? Does she do this while she's on the clock or off the clock?
On the clock, and then she switches her pay code from building over to liquor.
Okay,
So then when we put it in payroll, it's a
so
different.
it is kept separate.
Yes, it is kept separate.
So she does actually get paid for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And she actually does.
$2,000, don't you know?
Chief, are you still with us? We haven't left you, you haven't. taken
I
a
started
nap?
dozing a little bit.
so we don't want any copies. We're doing no copies for the building inspector. 727.
Oh,
So
yeah, they should have 500 copies.
Office supply. It's okay.
You said what, 100 or 500?
I do 500.
where are we now?
And a blank space on
Page 7 of
Page
20 in
7.
the upper right
Oh, and the
corner.
copies.
72700. We only have 13 pages to go.
No, some of these are blank yet.
So
So, no, it's not that far to go.
how much? Thinking of Lynn's job,
Takes about 2.5 days to do all the, are you talking about liquor
yeah,
inspections?
no, I'm talking about building inspectors
Okay.
now.
What about it?
Does she leave the office to go out?
Never.
Then that work comp is really high.
But
Wait, where
Who's-
are
he's
you?
getting charged
Page 7
for
of 20 in the
Kevin
upper
Polly
right
because he
corner.
doesn't have work. So what we pay him, even though he fills that form out,
Yeah.
we're still getting charged work comp for him.
You know what? It would be cheaper for you guys to go through the
Okay,
pool. and
Steve,
buy-
do you have your insurance hat on
I'm-
and not your trustee? You guys.
I've got my save the township money hat on. Because he could literally buy a policy through the pool.
And
for
get
$500.
everything but its expense constant back or whatever, right?
Exactly, so it would be cheaper in the long run for us to actually
Put that in the contract.
amend the contract to give a stipend to obtain that. So that you don't open the door for others, people to go, well, I want you to pay for my work comp too. So you can actually save money by. Do you know if is he an individual corporation, LLC?
I have to look.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that he's an LLC at a minimum. Yeah, he could.
We actually pay all the instruction.
Well, then that, we just still try to determine what that
Right.
means, but yeah, you could actually buy him coverage and never have an impact.
You mean have him buy it and we reimburse it, or we already pay it to him?
However you want to do it, because if he were to fall off a building and submit a great big claim, then your mod would go potentially nuts.
Right.
And then you could completely eliminate that by amending his contract with the stipulation that he would buy it. And we would participate at X dollars. And I think it's $500.
And then he'd have to show proof to us that he
Yeah,
has it.
yeah.
So
Right.
is he then? Is he eligible for work comp as an independent contractor?
If he's an individual, it's the typical answer is no.
Yeah,
But if he's an LLC, then the answer is yes. Does he
because
have an employee?
because he's an employee of his own
Yeah.
company.
Exactly. So I mean, that's for what it's worth. You know, I would,
It doesn't work if you're a proprietorship filed with the county clerk. You have to have an LLC or a corporation.
yeah, the pool is funny about that kind of stuff. Unless things have changed, yeah, an individual can't buy work comp for moral reasons. You know, I hurt my neck and I have to take the winter off.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, that may be a way of A, saving money and B, really saving yourself in the event of a large claim. So I would at least
So
discuss it.
supervisor, can you talk to him?
I've got written
Yeah,
right
okay.
here, I already made a note.
So
Cause you'll be amending a contract.
we're anticipating paying him 90 grand this year.
Well, some of that comes out of whatever the
Yeah, that's part of that percentage. What, 85,
We get
85?
20, right?
he gets 80%
For
of the
the review.
building
We
permit.
pay him a flat fee of a month, which I think is 5,000. And then for every site or plan review, we pay him 75% of the fees for that.
So the 90,000 contemplates a good permit year. So in addition to whatever his contract is, because we paid him 68,000 now.
Well,
That also
I think
includes
the
plan
income
reviews.
for it was about 200,000, wasn't it? Anticipated for,
220,
yeah,
yeah.
so whatever the percentage is of that, 85%.
So that 90,000 is a reasonable number? Is it high? I'd rather have it be high than,
I think it might be high.
Shouldn't plan reviews be tracked separate from his salary?
well, it's not a salary.
It's not a
it's
salary,
whatever
it's,
we
we're
pay
paying
him.
him as a subcontractor.
Or whatever that is, shouldn't that be separate from
Why?
the plan reviews?
Yeah, it wouldn't make him.
Just so
He's
you know.
gonna get a
plan
10,
reviews, you're
he's
gonna-
gonna get a 1099 anyway. right?
Yes, Gets a 1099.
He's our
He's
building,
getting a ten
So
ninety-nine.
90 is good.
It's building
Yes.
permits, isn't it?
he's our
Yeah.
building inspector, right?
Right.
I mean, what's his title?
Building official.
Building official. He does basically the inspections and works with the permits.
Right.
And does the site plan reviews. Yeah,
That's a plan review for like a commercial building where they have a architect's drawings, is that?
yes, we charge people for that.
Or he doesn't just get percentage of that, he gets percentage of the building permits too, doesn't he?
No, he gets a flat fee for doing the inspections.
Okay.
It's the electrical, plumbing and mechanical that get a percentage of the fees. for
I don't-
permits.
Good on that one.
I'd rather keep
Yeah.
that number the way it is.
Yeah, I
So
think
that we
so.
can always have room to wiggle.
Okay,
All right, let's keep going.
So for the electrical, mechanical and plumbing, they get 80% of the permits. So I just took 80% of what we estimated for the permits and put that number in here.
Is legal, is that just separating it out department by department? I take it.
Yeah, legal, we put blight enforcement goes under there and all that, so whenever Tim handles blight. Goes under the building. department.
but that would only be somebody got a ticket or had to go to court or something, right?
Right.
That's a pretty big bump from 31 to 75.
I don't know why that was amended up that much. Was it
Where?
that Pine Road person?
Amended doesn't mean it's been, that amount's been amended. It might be the original amount we put in last year.
The 31.
Right.
No, 31 is the actual so
Hmm.
far this
Right.
year. The 75
Somewhere along.
doesn't mean it's amended. It could have been what we originally,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
So I wonder if that 75 is a little bit high.
It seems like it. I mean, if you look back at the history. then-
Right. I wonder if that'd be better if we dump that down to 5,
Okay.
just to give a cushion.
So from 75 to 5.
We need to talk to him probably about blighted places that are up for tax sale or something. We could get involved with the land bank.
Dues are way up as well.
Why would we have transportation and travel? For the. Oh, is that for?
Where do you see that?
$5 a couple of years ago.
861. I didn't know why it was even in.
Yeah, it's never been funded before.
Yeah, let's dump that back to 0.
Power portion of the internet. Landline portion.
And again, the internet and all that stuff is just dumped out into each department, right?
Yes. But like IT work is
Per office.
per department, yeah,
Individual, right?
yeah.
So would that be once again, no, never mind, that wouldn't be BSNA. Why would there be 2,000?
Why do we have schools and conventions for the building official?
Because part of our contract is we pay for one convention that he has to go to.
Oh,
It's part of the
okay.
contract.
Okay.
That's
I didn't know.
same with
Yeah, it was
dues and
funded
memberships
before.
then?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the first time for that? Is that a new contract?
No, it's the same contract.
Well, it wasn't done in,
Then let me double check that, but I know the dues and subscriptions we have to pay for. It's part of the contract. With that, schools
well, that makes sense, but
schools can probably be taken out.
We're not agreeing to, he had to provide us with evidence of insurance, right? I'm sure he did.
as an independent contractor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least general liability,
General liability.
general
Yeah,
liability.
but
but-
we have $1,500 on a budget for general liability. I can
But it's
appreciate,
not just him. It's
well, I was just,
Lynn and
saying, I
everything
can
else.
appreciate some of the internal staff. Seems high, but
But that would include the electrical, plumbing and mechanical inspectors too, right?
Mhm.
well, we're not paying, they're subcontractors as well.
All right. This is for our internal.
Yeah, that seems.
But
high.
it's property too, so
Yeah.
it's their
Yeah,
portion of the
that-
building.
that's-
and-
yeah, that's-
Yeah, we're probably exposed to suits if they.
Yeah.
Right. Right,
Yeah,
so everybody's
somebody-
gonna name everybody.
Somebody's gonna get named in something.
So did we take out the schools and conventions?
Yes, we're taking schools and conventions out.
Oh, okay. We are taking it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle's like, she's gonna look into the contract, but then
Dues and memberships, I know we have to leave in there.
Electrical inspector.
Electrical inspectors and mechanical are just sort of money in, money out, right? Just-
They're a percentage of the
Yeah,
permits.
yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's takes care of electrical, mechanical and plumbing.
Yep,
So highway, roads and bridges is.
I just threw a number in there.
How do we
But
get there?
what
Oh,
is
here
that?
we
Cause it's not
Well,
our
it's,
special assessments.
no, it's,
That the.
the
spray-
dust control.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The road annual maintenance that the Alpena Road Commission,
Any repairs or things that they want.
Oh, is that the
that they
right?
want us to pay.
That's the right
Yeah.
around?
Yeah, like Abby will do a ride around with some guy from the road commission and.
Well,
look at
for
which
hundred and fifty
roads
grand,
need-
you aren't gonna get much of a ride around.
What?
That isn't
Hundred and
very.
fifty grand, you aren't gonna get much of a ride around.
Well, it amounts
I mean,
to
we
just
can-
over 100,000, I think, that we have available to pay to match the roads.
What if they were to bump it to two?
Did you, I was just gonna say, was there a reason why we
I'd like to
amended
see
the
us
budget
if
from
we could-
140 roughly to 300,000?
Yes, because of that Lake Winya project.
Okay. Okay. And so that Lake Winya project is done?
No.
Which is not in our township,
No.
not in our township, right?
Small
A
portion.
small portion of it is.
From the end of the blacktop now. That's,
Not all of it is.
the blacktop goes around the
Curve,
curve into
yeah.
Maple Ridge.
Well, that's a, what, didn't that one,
They
didn't
had
the
divided that
private
into two
citizen
separate
pay for that?
projects.
There was a reason we were
Yeah.
taking it on,
I can't
and
remember.
maybe I
that
shouldn't
reason
mention the
after.
word right now, so,
But it came in more.
but it starts with an A and an ends with an N.
But the
as
private
an accident.
citizen, the amount of it and what the private citizen pays and what we thought we were gonna pay came in as more money they expected us to pay.
Right, it's on our next budget meeting because it came in way more than. We need to approve more
Yeah, I
money to
said
pay
it at the
for it.
road commission meeting where they. That's that.
Well, what's everybody's thought about making that 200 instead of 150?
Sure, Cash, you haven't said anything for an hour? We're gonna go with you on that one.
Well, I mean,
Cash. you
I haven't
might as
looked
well.
at the end of the budget yet to see if we balance, but
If not
yeah.
hundred and fifty, not gonna get you much.
No. It's like a
200 is
spit.
gonna help, but it's
spit
not gonna do
bucket.
much.
All right, well, let's see where it's gonna take us. We're chewing up that surplus pretty fast.
So does everybody agree we should stay at the chamber
I
at
forgot.
5,000?
Yeah, I have a paper about that and I forgot and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. It's in my office.
You wanna grab it?
Deficit, you mean?
No, but just the brief rundown of that is that we're paying the $5,000 amount and it breaks it down into different levels. For like their membership, whatever it is, like platinum member, whatever it is.
Are we a
But
platinum?
we're the highest level, whatever that is. The 5,000 is the highest level, but after looking at their renewal form, I was looking at the different services and like, we don't even benefit from probably half of the things that they offer. Like at all, because we just don't use that service. So one of the things on there is like Facebook shout outs and stuff like that. There's, I think, 2 of those a year, or I don't know, 5 of them a year or something, but either way, it broke down the different things. And yes, I can go grab that really quick.
Well, I will tell you that I think it's money very well spent.
Absolutely.
And I believe that we will absolutely benefit from Aldi's, from Hampton, anything else that, because some of that money goes to Target, which we are on that Target board, I'm the
Mhm.
liaison.
Right.
And I personally would not be in favor of reducing that $5,000 because I think that we reap the benefits way more than the expenditure.
So
that
that's
we
combined, the
see.
chamber and economic development targets.
Yeah, they're all
the same thing.
basically the same. There's,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. We're not going to benefit from some of the things that the chamber does as an entity. But we will absolutely benefit from those things that Target, which is a sort of a component of the chamber does.
So I just have something about this. Every year we pay it late. Because we budgeted it, but our budget doesn't start till April 1st.
Mm.
If there's a way we could budget it twice this year, so we could pay it on time. In January when we're supposed to pay it,
Oh, because it was already due.
and we,
in
yeah,
January.
because every month we get past due and like.
Yeah.
It's just an idea, and then after this 1 year, we would just budget the regular 5,000 and be on track.
So if you could make a note so that we don't, so in other words, you're saying bump it up to 10,000 right now.
Just for this
And
year,
then just make a note so that next year we could reduce it down, back down to 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, why don't we, why don't we just change our current years?
we
In
could-
other words,
Put another 5 in there for.
5
this
in our
year.
current year.
Oh, and they get this
Oh,
one.
yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
That's
I'll put it on my budget
no problem. Yeah, that is,
adjustment.
yeah.
I like that idea.
He's so smart.
So,
We're just gonna amend the current budget.
so my point though about the levels thing is that if we are paying that much, we really need to start looking into what they are offering so that we can actually take full advantage of that. And that's something that I'll look into more and we can have the discussion at another meeting. Just because, you know, I showed the paper to Michelle and it was like, we're really not even using a quarter of what we're, the services that they're offering us for that amount.
Okay.
So I don't mind paying it. I understand it goes to a good use. It's just if we are gonna pay it, then let's actually get our money's worth for it.
Well, for one thing, you think you get pair of tickets, you go to their banquet, right, once a year?
Do
They don't
we
give you
I don't
tickets
think
for
you
the
get.
banquet.
They don't give us tickets?
You gotta pay for
No
it.
ticky, no laundry.
Okay, but Nathan always went, I think. And some of us went. too.
That,
Well,
that banquet is on the 13th.
We had to pay that out of our own pockets.
Yeah, I remember paying it, but I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I thought maybe we got complimentary too or something.
No,
In fact, gonna try to, the county with dumped out. So they're gonna have a budget shortfall.
Yeah, we already know that in our school liaison house.
Yeah, and so. I personally would like to see more emphasis placed on. More discussion or more opportunity for not only Alpena Township, but also the surrounding townships and try to. Have more discussion at each meeting about. Involving the township in some fashion, as opposed to just city discussions, because I think there's opportunity in the bigger picture.
Are you talking about target meetings?
I'm talking about target stuff and how target can be. better
Use more to our
utilized.
benefit rather.
Well,
than
better
just-
utilized as a region, as opposed to just a, you know, a smaller geographic area.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the county government. You're talking about.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, I mean, I'd love to have the county be still involved. It's hard.
Promoting our jurisdiction.
Yeah,
all right, let's keep going. It's 12:30.
move along.
I think the money spent for Long Lake Association is one of our best expenditures, because they do so much and they're so appreciative. And we always get that newsletter from them of all the fish they planted in Long Lake. Now, South Bay, are they even,
no, we can take that out.
Okay.
They're basically,
Are they disbanded in some
Yeah.
fashion? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that's good,
Here.
sorry.
and I think they donated whatever money they had for the bike path, specifically for the bike path extension from where it's at to
Oh,
North Part, or South Partridge, North Partridge, wherever. I don't know. Nathan didn't want to go to South Partridge.
And I don't know if we
They
need the
did.
money for the dangerous building cleanup. It was there last year. We didn't use it. I don't know if there's any dangerous buildings that we plan. on
Well, here's what
cleaning up
it's
This year or.
Really, what that
leave
was
it?
for was for the land bank. I believe.
Oh,
And we need to, and I need some help from somewhere. I don't know whether it's you when you go around with the building inspector or what, but if we've got blighted properties, we should get them on the list. Right now, the city is doing all the projects through the county land bank,
hmm.
and we surely must have some projects.
Oh, boy,
where we
we
could
sure do.
So we need to
So let's
identify some properties. So I would leave that in there as a support for the land bank.
Yeah, I can think of a couple right now.
I've got like the drones, make that one in there.
Well, I'm gonna make these inactive too. It needs
Okay.
that one, Target.
So recycling is
Museum.
asking for 5,000.
Yes,
Do we have to give them all, but,
yeah, we should give them 7,500.
so how much are all the other townships giving? In the city and the county?
One gave 7,500. I don't know if it was the city or the county, and the other one gave 5,000. I'm not sure about the other townships, but we're the.
The other
biggest
townships
township.
won't give that much money, but they have
No,
dumpsters, right? Every township has a dumpster,
dumpsters or bins.
bins, whatever you want to call
Well, they're different.
them. Well, I know,
A
because they,
dumpster is garbage.
the bins have
Bin
a
is
cover on,
recycled.
okay.
We have to, I mean.
They don't collect
Okay,
water
I'm
and they
good
don't
with it.
collect
Let's
rats.
keep moving.
Planning commission?
Probably is pretty straightforward.
The only thing I didn't do is the comprehensive plan for 69,000 because we're doing that this year.
And that's fully paid by a grant, right?
That's by the 2 grants that Nathan.
Right, so
wrote
then
for,
that
yeah.
means that we should put it in as an income too, though, shouldn't we?
Right, it's probably, it might be in our current budget, I don't know.
What is the increase for the salary payable right there? We're at 3,200, we've got it jumped up to 10,000.
We approved that. We're at scale, didn't we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
702.
702 what?
10,000
10, 702,
Yeah.
10.
salary payable.
Yeah, who is that?
I don't know.
I mean, is that the planning commission
Well,
members when they
yeah.
meet?
Yeah, so it's the planning commission when they meet,
So it's all the members.
yeah.
So-
Except Norm.
Except Norm, yeah.
But isn't that kind of high? Compared to what it-
That's what I was asking, it was, we're at.
I don't know, it
32.
depends on how many special meetings they
Oh.
have, how many,
Okay,
Why
We'll
don't
be
we
having
change-
more special meetings this year because of the new master plan and the recreation plan.
right, so I think
Yeah,
that's probably a
that's-
good figure.
Yeah, that's probably.
I
what-
mean, if it's high,
Probably
great.
high, but
so I'd rather be a little high in anticipation of having those extra meetings.
Well,
So-
Go ahead.
I'd like to have how we have to do our reports. Treasurer's report, clerks, supervisors. I'd like to have a report on what's going on with the planning commission, because. I mean, whoever sits on that,
Who's the chair? Tom?
I'm your liaison.
right?
We got copy of the minutes in the.
That comes in.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
in the packet.
the minutes are
Never
already in
mind,
the
never
packet,
mind.
yeah.
Yep, never mind.
On the
So we're leaving that at
comprehensive
10,
plan,
yeah.
shouldn't we move that 69,000 over into the proposed budget, or was that approved under the last year's budget, or?
It's
It was
in,
approved
it's in
under,
24, 25.
under the current budget.
I don't know if I have, let me look and see.
But I
So I
think you're
want-
right, we're not paying for it.
Yeah, I don't think we paid for anything.
We haven't paid for any of it. There's been no
Show
activity.
that in the general fund?
So that's exactly what I was just gonna look for. Where is that as a
We
revenue?
probably haven't gotten the income yet.
Oh, but you'd still budget it, wouldn't you, when you make a budget adjustment if it wasn't there?
So we'd want to adjust it in this one to receive it in the next fiscal. I don't know, Abby, if you could find out when we're gonna get that grant money. If it should be shown as revenue in this current fiscal or in the next fiscal.
Have we
Then we'll
already
know
spent it?
whether or not we should leave that 69,000 or take it out.
Did we spend it already out of our budget?
We have not written a check yet. No, there's been absolutely no activity in that.
So
I think
this is,
that was the one we talked about that we weren't sure where it was gonna fall, right?
Right, which fiscal year?
Hmm,
You might want to check with Denise Klein on that.
right,
Never got it.
yeah.
I'd rather
right,
it
because
down.
I remember
We're gonna get it
seeing,
before March 31. We need to do a income budget adjustment. Or,
either way, we're gonna
and
have
if we're
to,
gonna not
Right.
receive it till next fiscal year, we should take it out of this fiscal year.
yeah, either way, we're gonna have to budget, amend the income and expense.
There should be something in plan reviews. I'm just putting something in there. Maybe 1,500. Cause that's where we
What
pay,
number is that?
um,
Plan review, I see it, 963.
oh gosh, what is his name, Norm, who reviews the cases?
Is
Rick Jewell, yes,
Who?
Rick Jewell.
How much? Michelle?
1,500.
I think 1,500,
Whatever we pay them.
well worth it.
I guess. Pretty well on top of that.
What is the dues and membership for that?
Did you ask a question?
Yeah, the dues and membership. What are we paying for that?
Oh,
Those is probably sending people to that MTA, like the power plan, planning.
That would be schools and conventions. So
Oh.
I would take that out because that was probably the MTA.
You're gonna take out $1,000?
No, the
The
500.
500
above it.
below.
Above.
Leave the schools and conventions in there.
Okay.
I'll make. real
Was,
suggestion.
Steve, what were you talking about with the power plan for that?
Wrong comment, but like the money that you're getting reimbursed,
Okay,
the planning, the power plan will do the same thing for planning commission members that attend MSPO or any one of those planning commission.
do we, I obviously don't know, do they attend those? Do we have people that go to that?
I don't know, but I know that if we do, we pay it, show proof that we paid it, send it in, then they'll reimburse it.
Okay.
So as far as I know, Thunder Bay Island hasn't requested any money, so I think we should make that 0.
Hmm,
I don't think so.
I thought we got a letter.
Sorry there.
I think that, and we just got something from them. They weren't really asking, but I think we need to keep that in there.
I thought that letter that we got was, is that referring to like the $8,500 or something?
Telling
like
what
that?
they
That was
did
what
with
they
it.
already did with the money. that we
Right.
got.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I have not received any requests
No,
from anybody's,
I'm sure we will.
I'm sure. I'll
Yeah.
share that.
That used to be a pet peeve of mine, but I guess as long as it's not,
Excessive,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm good with 1,000 because we do own the property
Yes, ours.
I still want to know what they do with
in the
the
nature preserve.
fluent from the outhouse.
Well, didn't they get the money to put the dock in?
Yeah, they did some of those,
and now we're on to,
On the public safety.
the nature
Say,
preserve. I wonder if they ever got those signs up there properly.
you
go get lost.
Yeah.
I think we're trying.
I'm gonna,
I'm gonna step out just for a second.
Okay,
I'm gonna get this out of here.
so Chief, you're up, I guess. The one correction I know that we have to make is on Thunder Bay Junior High Liaison Officer. I need, down here, you need to change that to 65,000, so it matches where we have it throughout.
we go
What
on
number is
to
that?
the-
It's the very last one in the revenue. My question was, Chief, and you may not be able to answer this, contractual services Maple Ridge, we've been charging them. Oh, did we charge them 5,000 this year, Laura?
Who's that?
Maple Ridge? Cause we got 5,000?
Did we get it?
It looks
Oh,
like we
I-
did.
I think it was for 2 years.
Oh, okay,
That was
They
probably
hadn't paid
about
it.
right, because it
Um,
was 2,500 from what I.
okay, so,
Have to change this fund to public.
okay,
safety.
go into low data.
Oh, right here. I was gonna do that, but I wasn't sure if I should or not. And then,
Remove that one. So the fire department millage, I think you got, did you confirm that? When you confirmed our millage tax dollars, Laura? The 648?
no, I don't know where that number came from.
Okay, we're gonna confirm that.
Yeah,
Can you confirm that
these were
for us?
all numbers that were produced prior to
Yeah, I
my
didn't work on
arrival.
any of the revenues for public safety.
So my
Did you
question
come
is,
up-
I think that we should lower the contractual services Maple Ridge to 2,500 because we haven't
Yes.
gotten a new contract with them for the 5,000.
No, and they had paid, they had missed a year, so
That's
they
okay.
doubled up. So where's the Maple
Alright.
Ridge
Hmm.
one?
That,
Boy, Chief,
that's
have you had
010,
any communication with the
5810.
fire chief of Maple Ridge? Or
Oh, right.
not?
Yeah, that's, I've been looking into to see what that contract was, because it impacted our DNR agreement. And it also, I wanted to see what our true costs were for that service. But yes, I will be.
Do you have a copy of the contract?
It's, we haven't been able to find
I
anything
have it. I can
since
send it to you. Just remind me.
20, what was that? The Maple Ridge, like
Oh,
2009
2019
It's really
something.
old.
or something,
Yeah.
or even maybe 2017 was the last one I think we had found.
Well,
I
what was the
wonder
term
if
of
it
the
sunsets,
contract?
I wonder what the contract says.
I don't
in
think
terms-
it's
It
sunset,
doesn't, it was a really vague and really like,
Yeah.
not,
It was not,
well written.
not
Let's
well,
have Tim
yeah.
Let's have Tim rewrite it and send it,
Yeah.
a new one with your numbers.
Yeah, I'm reasonably confident
we're
that our
changing
costs
The
exceed.
Maple Ridge back down to 2,500 because we have a
Yes.
contract.
Number?
It's the third number down.
And if you really want that part. of
851
Their township. could ask
or
them to
581,
annex it.
sorry.
Yeah, if you don't want it, we'll take it.
Did you come up with this?
No, you.
no, like I said,
Fire
all of
department
these
knowledge.
numbers were given to me prior to my arrival.
We don't get the 40 grand anymore from the county, do we?
Yeah, we do.
30, so it's gonna
Yeah.
be almost 40, I think, again.
It's the
Yeah.
39, isn't it?
Yeah, 39, so.
Yeah,
Did you
39.
plus have it? Or-
This
Love to see
was
that
something
bump.
that,
That's out of the ambulance.
Chief
money.
Plus had
the
worked on.
former supervisor and
Right.
Chief Plus both worked on together.
Sure. That's probably a good number then, if that's what they came up.
I
with.
think the interest seems high.
The interest is, huh? Well.
Would-
it-
Interest earned.
Well, remember, we spent some of that money in that.
Right, and we have 9,000 in investment income. 27,000 just seems very high in interest.
I didn't put that number.
I know. But I'm just saying, doesn't it seem high to you?
Probably compared to
Does,
what it,
do they have a savings account? They just have.
They have a fund balance.
Yeah.
they just have the regular pool.
But see, it went from a. In 22-23, it went from $1 million fund balance down to now. Well, it's proposed, 444. And is that taking the 200,000?
They couldn't do that because we have the interest plugged in as interest earned out of the general fund on the general on the first page.
They're
We
separated.
spent roughly 60% of that. Fund balance since,
I don't know where you're getting the fund balance.
I'm looking at the end of their department budget.
Are you on page 11?
I am, is that the water?
No, this is page 11 is public safety.
This is where this number.
So you
came
got
from.
fund balances down at the bottom.
The 20.
Right, but the big drop happened when we bought equipment.
That's what it was, that
Yeah.
newest piece of equipment, okay.
The,
Is that the fund though that we took the money out for the paid on call? That's what I was wondering.
right, 40, that we took the 20,000 out.
Okay,
20,000? Yes,
So that
so that fund
27,
balance is less than half a
27,000
million.
Came from what was earned last year.
yeah, so,
That's right here.
but last year's fund balance was a little over $1 million, right?
yes,
So it's this year, it's at fund balance, looks like it's gonna be proposed at somewhere around 430,000, so 27,000 would definitely not be
Right,
right. So even if they get a 5% rate of return, at best, you'd be looking at about 8,000.
right.
And it
That's-
probably won't be 5% either.
Well, but I mean,
sorry,
Right.
All right, no, you're good.
I
So
would,
that's
I
where
would,
those,
I
that's
would
where the
take that.
numbers came
sound turned
from.
off, but they
I
got the
would-
alarms.
So I'm sure that's
Have
when
to
they
pay
did.
attention to that.
Okay, well, I would take that 27,000 and probably reduce that sadly to probably somewhere around 8.
And then the other next one down from the investments, it was 9. So what do you?
I
want
don't know
that?
how much money is in that investment.
The investment is the fund balance.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
Well,
I
wait-
think that 27.
well, so wait a
is super
second. So,
high.
so if the fund balance is the investment, then the 9,000 would be about right. You know, just.
That's
the number from, instead of 27.
No, if the next line item down.
This interest each month in the pooled account. But you just.
So the
divided it by
27,000,
three.
I wonder what the heck that is. even
That total
represents.
amount, I believe that's how it's being done.
So they're getting more than what they should.
Probably.
Doesn't sound like the 27,000 should
We
even
should
be in
come
there.
up with some formula, but that's.
We gotta come up with a formula.
So
Because we're overpaying water and,
And, okay,
yeah,
So-
we're cheating the general fund.
okay.
so, that's exactly what I was gonna,
If
we're
we're taking
basically,
the interest from that pooled account and just splitting it equally among all three funds, where a lot of times
why would-
general fund has 1 million in
Right,
it,
right.
the public safety fund might have 400,000, and there might be 100,000 in the water. They're getting way better interest return on their money than the
Right.
general fund is.
well,
So we need
I
to, we'll
guess
figure out a better way to figure
Yeah.
that out.
I think the first question I would have is why would we distribute money to the enterprise fund from the general fund?
I don't know what you're asking, because
So-
we don't do that.
No, we can't.
So well, I think.
They're all in one checking account, but one checking account is housing three funds.
That,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I'm getting at. Okay,
General water and
so
public
we
safety.
have one money market or whatever it is, that. So the. Let me get my thoughts together here. So the enterprise fund. The money that came back as a result of the negotiation, that's in a separate fund somewhere, right?
That, yes.
That's gotta.
It's
stop.
not in a separate fund, it's in the water fund, it's all
That's-
spent in the
But I
water
mean, but I
fund,
mean, it's a
But it's
separate
a-
account.
it's in a separate account, correct?
So the general fund, outside of that, provisional money. That provisional money is over here,
Mhm.
and any other money that comes in to the township. Flows into the main checking
The
account.
hunting, the pool checking account, and then gets distributed through that.
And
But you're
where are
keeping
you, what
track
are you
of it.
referring to as the provisional, when you say that?
The money that we got back from.
So
the-
that's escrow money. 'Cause there were two-
Escrow,
there were-
provisional.
But they were two different,
The escrow money.
and the provisional were two separate.
What's the difference?
We have provisional that was not part of the escrow fund.
That's our money.
We put our money, our
provisional
water
money
income
was-
money
Yeah,
aside.
so the income from the water department.
The escrow money from Nicolay, right? That's what you're referring to?
No.
Oh.
When I pay my water bill,
Yep, goes into the regular water account,
a separate water account,
correct.
and then there's another account.
No, it doesn't go into a separate water
No,
account,
it
it
goes
goes into the
into
pool.
The pool of
water.
water,
All
right.
right,
The pool,
all right, so, all right, okay.
You
So
can
there's,
answer it.
so there's essentially a general fund
okay,
that houses money that flows into the township excluding the escrowed money.
The escrow money was what's
We
in the joint
have-
account with the city, right?
Yeah, not now, but.
That was. And then we set extra money aside in case we had to pay more than the 3 million.
500,000 through our negotiation. That's separate.
okay.
She's gonna draw you a picture.
No, I'm sure I got the picture right,
Well,
but,
no,
but
'cause it-
I'm trying to understand why we would take, so when I pay my water bill. And that revenue stream, I guess, represents 35% of whatever money comes through the township.
This is the pooled
Now,
account.
just hold on, let me get
Okay.
my, and so what you're saying is that you want to take any interest earned and disseminate that money by percentage of revenue coming in.
No. No, that's not what I'm saying. So we have general water, water sewer and public safety. All goes into the same checking account. Then general has a savings account and an investment. Water sewer has a provisional account. And the escrow account.
But that's
And
separate.
the bond.
Right,
And the
that they,
savings,
that we
right.
account for their interest or investment earnings separately. But the money, while it's sitting in this checking account, is also collecting interest.
Right,
So currently, it sounds to me like if, let's say after a month. It collects 5,000 in interest. Laura just divides that by 3 into
And
each.
it's not 5,000, but anyway.
But I'm
yes,
just saying,
Yes, yes.
just for.
simple math.
For
simple
doing
math.
the bank reconciliation.
But in truth, the general fund probably has, let's say, 700,000 in it. The water and sewer only has 100,000 and public safety has maybe 400,000. So if we're dividing the interest equally, it's not being earned equally. The general fund's balance is earning a lot more and it's getting the same amount.
As the other two.
as
So,
the
but
other
now
two.
let me ask you this.
So we need to figure out a better way to figure out that.
Oh, that's a pretty easy math.
Yeah,
problem.
that could be simple, but when the state revenue sharing is, what kind of, how do they tranche that out? Quarterly or something?
Every other month,
Right.
All right,
6 times a year we get that, right?
okay.
And that's
That
general
could
fund money.
complicate that math a little bit, but
So when everything gets to a certain amount, I'm not sure I know exactly what those amounts are. Laura will transfer that money into the investment account so that we are collecting higher and rate
yeah,
of return.
yeah, that'll be an
And usually we
interesting,
talk
that'll be an
about that,
interesting
too.
allocation, for sure, but I would completely agree with you that 27,000 in interest earned
Is way too
seems
much.
wrong.
Yeah,
And it seems like the investment income. Because I was looking at it just from the 648,000. It would be higher than 9,000.
But that,
Chances are,
but that one is all by itself
But
in the investment.
I-
Not combined or divided up.
I think the interest or the investment income should be about 15,000.
that would make more sense.
And then I would make the interest a lot lower, like maybe 5,000.
It'll be interesting to see how that works out because,
did you say that the 640, that it's in an account that would earn about 4.5%?
yeah, something like that.
This-
So
So
it-
that's 28, almost 29,000.
yeah, I mean, but,
This is by
but
itself.
there's gonna be ebb and flow
This
of the
is
money.
public safety's investment. It's not, we don't
Well, that-
divide anything up to come up with this.
Right,
So why are you wanting to increase that so high?
because I think we're gonna have more money in there. Once you collect it from taxes, we're gonna stick money in there and only pull it out as we need it.
Yeah, you don't use that
But-
fund balance. I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be static.
well,
But
till
this
the
is
end of a
still
budget
based
year,
on
when you
the-
have, if you don't spend all the money in the budget, then
Still based on a year.
that
Yeah.
increases that number. And, you know, that's what we've been trying to do is
I don't know.
increase
But
those
I know
fund
we have way too
balances
much
in all the
interest in
different
there.
departments.
And
So
not,
that,
not in the investment.
Well, I don't understand why you
In the
couldn't,
interest.
I think leave this one alone and lower the other one.
when we can budget higher than, than we're actually gonna spend sometimes, you know, so that we have extra money left over. Doesn't get spent for whatever, then we can build those funds, but.
Michelle, why don't you ask the CPA or the accountant why we couldn't dump those into 3 separate accounts so that you could track that money very closely?
Steve,
We came from there.
we just came from there. You made the motion that we combine our.
No, no,
checking
no, no, no,
accounts.
no.
That's
We're
a,
going backwards.
No, let me rephrase it.
That's
Okay,
going backwards is a good
I
idea.
don't want to go backwards. I
Okay.
definitely don't want to do that.
Thank you.
But I want to be able to figure out an easier way to track that revenue stream.
I think we need to lower the threshold of money left in those accounts. So that it's gonna be more work for Laura, because she's gonna have to constantly be monitoring those. And moving money into the investment, and as we need it, move it back out.
Okay.
So that we get, most of our income comes from the investment and not from the checking account.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, I just have this much on my plate right now. And not that it's not another thing, but I'm very, very overwhelmed right now with Kelly being gone and just Rhonda and I have tons of work to do.
Are they,
And I don't have enough time to do it all. I crap on my desk right now. People are waiting for it.
Are-
I don't
are-
have time.
and they're not
I
in,
worked last night at home.
they're not in the same bank, right?
They're all in the same bank.
So why can't the bank do that? Why can't you ask the bank when it triggers a certain dollar amount, transfer the money? Why do we have to do that? Can't that be an automatic transfer?
Well, they don't know that part of our money is water and sewer, and part of our money is general fund, and part of our money is.
I'm just wondering if there's a solution for that, because it can mean the difference of thousands of dollars,
Right, I
tens of
agree.
thousands of dollars.
We'll work on it.
Okay. So we didn't really come to the conclusion on the interest earned from 27 to what?
Well, it's interesting that when I did the math here, if I did it right, times 4.5% times 640,000 came out to about 28 or 29,000. So the 27,000 maybe had the foundation there.
But I think we're under 4% now.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
but even if you, even if you dumped it, even if you dropped it to 20, knowing that it could be higher, we're still have
Which
a
is-
buffer.
Which is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're adjusting the number or we're not?
well, we're definitely
get
gonna
20.
have to adjust it because
Okay,
it's,
so we're
it's too
changing
high.
that 8,000 down to up to 20,000. So we're
No, the
changing the
27
27. We had
20
it in there as 8 and now Laura's gonna change that to 20, correct?
No,
Okay.
No, I think the 9,000 should be 15, and I think the 27,000 should be probably closer to 10, I think, maybe a little bit higher than 10, don't you?
I was thinking 8, but.
Okay,
I'm
well,
just-
I'd rather be low than.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're leaving it at 8, increasing the 9,000 to 15.
yes.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay. I hope this isn't modern man.
We got 1 minute.
Are you making it?
The only thing that I saw that
You
was
changed this bottom number.
provided to me was a transfer from other funds. And what was provided to me was a transfer of $92,000.
Yeah, what number is that?
Of how much?
Is that in the income? Yeah, here it is.
It said.
699.
Transfer from other funds, the 699 .020.
That's that's the 200,000 coming from the general fund.
No, the one below that.
Oh,
The one below
is
that,
020.
Transfer in from,
other funds.
And it's zero. There's
I'm
nothing
just,
there.
this is
Yeah.
me questioning because.
that
this-
was,
That would have been from the fire equipment fund probably, which we no longer would have. Answer. Because that millage is done, we're done receiving it, we've spent it.
I
Right,
think we took that out of the sock.
Equipment villages up at the top, it's the second item.
out of the general fund?
No, not that.
Oh.
but, okay, that transfer in from
Oh, out of
other
the-
funds that has 0 all the way through. We have not done that. The one above that was when we transferred ARPA funds in.
Correct.
Yeah,
So I was.
there's
I'm
no
just
other
curious
fund other
because-
than the general fund to transfer money in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious of what, because that was a number provided to me on this, so I just wanted to clarify. Because that then impacted the overall.
What did you say?
You
Your
had a number
was
in
93?
addition to the 200,000 above it?
Yeah, so were your numbers on the one that you have in front of you? Right under the 200,000, there was a 93,099 that was presented to me. Or given to me. On my sheet
What
from,
GL was it?
it was under that same
The one that ends in .020.
.020.
Yeah, that's.
That says transfer in from other funds.
I don't know where they
Well,
were.
there's a one above that too.
Right, and there's another one above,
What?
it's a ARPA,
That was that.
that's a
From the
zero.
fund balance.
Yeah, that,
I,
yeah, we don't have any more ARPA funds. eh?
I don't remember it.
We
It's so
did
weird.
take money out of the savings account for the,
Yeah, right here, the 20,000.
where,
Oh, you
I've
you
got
don't
the
have that
motion.
sheet.
where's it at?
She's looking at the motion that Haley. pulled
Moved
up.
by trustee Russ Reiner and supported by trustee Norm Foley. To approve the additional funding for paid on call staff during peak incident times in the amount of 20,000 from the public safety fund savings.
The sock fund, I call it.
Yes, yes, that was done on September
Okay,
23rd.
how much do we take out of there?
20,000.
Yeah, and I don't know, I was just trying to get clarification because it shows, from 23. Till today, there's 0, but then they were adding that in for 25, so I don't know if that was. Something that
How much was it that they were adding in?
93,000.
$3,099.
What was the other discussion that we were talking about that we had meetings on with the other chief where we were gonna support money for 2 years?
So 100,000 a year.
I think it was, I don't remember, I think it was 100,000,
It
but
was.
we were gonna take that out of that fund, that where the 20 grand came from. And for 2 years, that has, it was separate from
That's
The
why we're
general
showing
fund
it at four,
contribution.
400 instead of 600.
Did we not vote on it? We just had a discussion maybe?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
It does
I know.
sound familiar.
I do, it
It
is
was
starting
talked
to sound
about-
familiar to me too, but I don't think we did a motion on it.
Now,
But
I
I-
think that was talked about when we discussed it when we sat down with the chief back then of what we could do to make this fire department go another couple of years so we could get to a.
So
millage.
let me
Yeah.
talk to this accountants and find out how we would show that,
Yeah.
because we wouldn't show that as revenue because it's not revenue.
Right.
It's already money we have.
But
Yeah,
if,
it was just going to be a transfer. from-
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I totally
don't know.
do remember this.
but
Because we were working with an idea of trying to just bolster up the fire department because we were losing.
Can down the road another couple of years.
Yeah, and in anticipation of helping just to move, as Norm said, just sort of kick can down the road, but with the idea of moving towards a need to move on a millage.
Yes.
That, it was the whole premise behind most of that conversation, and I remember it, but maybe we didn't make a
Yeah,
motion.
Haley went
well,
through, so.
but maybe if you look at this fund balance, ending fund balance back on page 11. It's about, I mean, it's reflected that we're reducing it in the proposed budget by about 200,000.
Yeah, I
don't
know
know.
I'm not dreaming this, because it
Yeah.
was a conversation.
So I don't know where these numbers came from, you guys put together, but it looks like something that was in the plan.
I want to say that it was initially brought up, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe it was initially brought up at a fire committee meeting. And then we pushed it forward a little bit, but I could be wrong on that, but it was a 2-year deal. 100 and 100.
I think that sounds familiar.
I think it was all lip service, but I don't think it came to the board.
Cause I don't want
I
to.
don't-
I don't remember voting on that,
Yeah,
but I'm
Anyway,
seeing the 200,000 difference, but that's all in 1 year.
yeah, well, we need to get some clarification on it, because
Yeah, because then the rest of the numbers obviously are gonna be
of course,
askew from that
absolutely.
as that just dropped.
So we have to
what
go back
the
to this.
Other presentation is by almost, well,
We
by
have to do what?
$93,000.
During this.
Well, why
Right,
don't we
right.
do this? Why don't we probably stop here?
Yeah.
So that we can do some investigation. Make some adjustments and then get it on the next meeting. We'll have truer numbers that we
Right.
can start with and work on the fire
So
department.
our next meeting's Tuesday. I feel like I got a lot going. I know Laura's got a lot going. Can we just do Thursday and not Tuesday next week?
I can't do Tuesday in the morning. I've got a job to do.
I just wanted to add one more thing to this, is that what you and I talked about the liaison officer number, instead of it being 61,000, it should be 65,000.
You're right.
Well,
I just changed.
Okay, perfect.
I think it'd be better to skip anyways, because I have a meeting scheduled for 2 as well on that day, so.
On what day?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So let's skip Tuesday. I'll try to get you guys my questions answered. Laura will get that entered. I can help her. And then we can get you new figures and I will talk to the accountants
And that,
about how to handle the moving money from the fund balance.
Sorry to make
Well-
that, but that's what I was just trying to.
Yeah, no,
Well, we need to
your
get to a
number,
board meeting.
this 93,000 really starts to sort of
Yep.
confirm what my brain was pretty sure we talked about.
So I would
So
imagine there's something that was spent for 7,000 if you were talking about, or almost 8,000 that you were talking about 100 each year for 2 years.
Right.
So some of it was already kind of allocated for that.
yeah, I don't know, but I don't know.
so we should only be showing, if I'm right about what I'm interpreting here, we should only show 100,000 reduction in the fund balance for this year.
For this year.
And then
Right,
figure out
that's-
how to do that with the accountant. I mean,
That's how I understand, that's how I understood the discussion. It's just this, because I'm pretty sure we talked about the fact that we lost the millage, the equipment millage, which was.
And that's why you're thinking of in the 0200 line item, that's where that 100,000 should be.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but what that line item that was presented to me. From what the numbers have from the former supervisor and chief plus. Showed on that particular
That's where
ledger
they showed you.
entry was
$100,000.
93,099.
So when's our next budget meeting?
Next Thursday at 1, I think. I've got it on the calendar.
At 1 o'clock, isn't it?
Is that what we all agree on?
Well, let me check.
That's what I had in mind.
Tuesday is canceled, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
I've already taken
The
enough.
Zoom link that Haley already put up shows 1 o'clock on Thursday.
So if I show up on Tuesday, tell me I'm wrong.
I'll just shake your hand again and say, hey, how you doing? I thought you just wanted to hang out at that training with me.
Yeah, that looked really fun.
It was awesome.
Fluctuations. And the timing. Oh, when we're gonna have.
Oh, so do we need to, you wanna go through like? So this would be our discussion. We didn't do public comment. Yes, if anybody's public
Does
comment.
anybody have public comment? No, seeing none, okay.
Discussion, we discussed changing, blah, blah, blah. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I vote no.
Please vote.
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Meeting adjourned at 1:07.
About the one